Welcome back to the Sanford Pentagon. Fourth quarter coming up, 84-52 Nebraska with a lead over South Dakota. We mentioned this is a homecoming for Amy Williams. Her previous head coaching job was on the other side for the University of South Dakota. And a lot of head coaches from South Dakota have gone on to excellent jobs. Before Amy Williams, it was Ryan Williams. He has stayed at Colorado State ever since leaving USD. Of course, Amy Williams at Nebraska. John Blitzwhite, after a run to the Sweet 16 with the Coyotes, went to West Virginia first, now with the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And then this past offseason, Kayla Karius going over to Green Bay in the Horizon League, another good mid-major league. But all four of these former South Dakota Coyote head coaches still have head coaching jobs in Division I.
Well, it's like a blessing and a curse. Like, this is awesome that this program, that the coaches in this program have been able to do well enough that it's catapulted them to, other jobs, other higher profile jobs. But on the other hand, if you're a fan base and you're the administration, you don't want to keep losing your good coaches every few years when bigger schools come calling.
Britt Prince with an and one opportunity on the fourth personal foul from Olivia Kiefer. Prince completes the three-point play. By the way, she has doubled her career high. I know her career is only 4 games old, but a career high 21 right now for Britt Prince. A sign of things to come, I would say.
Earlier in the game, I mentioned that we might be looking at a candidate for 2025 Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and I meant it. It's a starting point guard. She can get you 24 points, but she can also get you an 11 assists. When she figures out the defensive component of the game and learns to stop flying out at people and to contest in a composed way, watch out, Big Ten.
And this is something Amy Williams was discussing with us at morning shoot-around, that she's self-aware to know that defense still needs work. But she's also confident enough in herself and able to laugh at herself for any mistakes she makes. No mistaking there as Logan Nisley hits from downtown again.
Well, Britt is a coach's kid. Her mom was her high school coach. So you know that they've had a lot of dinner time discussions on the nuances of defense.
Coral Mason is short on that corner three. Rebound taken away by Grace Larkins. Gets her own offensive rebound among 3 Huskers and pulls it back out. There's that the non-quit rather, from Larkins and the Coyotes. Can't hit on that 3, but the effort is there. Nisley. Bit of a heat check is off the iron. Larkins gets the rattle to go.
Nebraska, they've taken off their press and their pressure. Even after makes, they still like to pick, or after misses, they still like to pick up full court. I haven't seen that the last few possessions. If South Dakota keeps scoring like this, though, don't be surprised if Amy Williams starts pressing again.
Petrie was fouled inside. 15 threes in this ballgame for Nebraska. That ties the most in a game away from Lincoln.
We still have 8 minutes to play, David.
The all-time record for threes in the game for Nebraska is 17. So 2 more ties it, 3 more achieves it, as Petrie is good from the line.
I'd be good with that. I'm down for a record-breaking performance tonight.
I think most of this sold-out crowd would also appreciate that. Again, a lot of red in here, as both the Coyotes and Huskers have red as their primary color, but a lot of friends and family of Amy Williams, her parents, she mentioned uncles, cousins, a lot of her former players who played at South Dakota are in the stands tonight. It's been a nice homecoming and a beautiful job here showcasing this crowd at the Sanford Pentagon.
Oh, they've done a wonderful job with the promotion, the marketing, bringing in this great crowd. It's been a wonderful atmosphere for women's basketball tonight.
And Nebraska fans might as well stay overnight. The men play St. Mary's tomorrow. That game on Big Ten Network at noon Central. Markowski is short. Empty will let it roll out of bounds over to South Dakota.
I was having breakfast this morning in my hotel, and I ran into some Husker fans, and I asked them if they were going to the game tonight, and they said they couldn't get tickets.
This game was sold out earlier this week.
Yeah, they're going to the men's game tomorrow, but couldn't get tickets tonight.
Duffney inside, hoop in the harm.
Great take by Duffney. Nothing fancy. There's nothing sexy about straight line drives, but it gets the job done. And again, this is an area where Brent Prince is, as talented as the freshman is, where she will grow. She's so used to just being able to rise up and block shots, and she's learning you can't do that at this level.
Up to 10 points now for Duffney, so that's 9 straight games in double figures for Carly Duffney. Kendall Coley rattles it in. That is the 9th different Husker to hit an outside shot tonight.
These fans in here have no idea that we're on the precipice of something special. One more three.
I think some diehard fans might know we're on the precipice, and if not, they'll hear it from us. Hempy rattles in a triple on the other side. It's been a nice game for Alexi Hempy. A little cold in the middle part, but she's starting to heat up again here in the second half. Prince on the drive with the scoop. Great move, great finish.
Her pace. That's what impresses me the most about her as a freshman. A lot of times freshmen come in, they don't understand how to play with pace. She does.
Grace Larkins, another nice move inside. She's up to a game-high 28 points.
She's on pace to break her career high that she set in the last game against LMU with 29.
Markowski inside. Nebraska on the precipice of the century mark. A little less than 6 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter from Sioux Falls. Hempy being guarded by Bojan. Bojan a little too aggressive on the baseline. Sanford Pentagon here in Sioux Falls, opened in September of 2013, including tonight. They've hosted 92 Division I college basketball games, both men's and women's. And you're going to see a lot of games on the Big Ten Network from this building, including tomorrow, later next week, Iowa versus Kansas women, Iowa versus Utah men in late December before the Christmas season.
It's just a wonderful venue. This is my first time here. It's a lot of fun just walking through the building, seeing all the history, all the placards that are around, the murals on the wall. You've got great women's basketball players, Cheryl Miller, Lindsay Whalen, Diana Taurasi on the walls in the tunnel. It's pretty cool.
A lot of pride here in the local Sioux Falls community for this building as Coley hits another three. Nebraska has now tied a team record 17 threes in a game.
And no better person to do that than Kendall Coley, someone who's been in this program for so many years.
Hempy off on that one, rebound to Hake. Hargrove for the record. You bet!
That freshman has no idea what she just did.
18 threes for Nebraska. A record for a single game. Foul inside on Moriarty. We alluded to it, and it happened. 18 threes for Nebraska from 9 different Huskers. A new single game record in the storied history of Nebraska Cornhusker women's basketball. Welcome back to Sioux Falls, 105-62. Nebraska with the lead over South Dakota, a little more than midway through this fourth quarter. I want to take a moment to recognize the life of Bridget Arns Schumacher. She played for Amy Williams when Amy was the head coach at the University of South Dakota. Bridget passed away unexpectedly last month at the age of 30, leaving behind her husband Taylor and 4 young children. Her younger sisters, Monica and Allison Arns, also played for the University of South Dakota. There was a nice moment of silence held before the game. A Crofton, Nebraska native. All these ties between South Dakota and Nebraska. Our hearts, thoughts, condolences, and prayers go out to the Arns and Schumacher families, as well as the USD community and the Crofton, Nebraska community. Amy mentioning to us in shoot-around what a wonderful player and person Bridget was. Just the legacy a coach leaves and the legacy a player leaves. When you can have that kind of impact on both a basketball team and a community, it speaks volumes.
And as someone who has coached for 24 years, these players, they become your family. And it's not always mother-daughter. Sometimes it's big sister. Sometimes it's aunt-niece. But they become your family. And when you lose one, and I have, unfortunately, I've lost a couple of my former players, and it hurts because it is like losing a member of your family. And my heart goes out to this entire program, but especially Bridget's family, her husband and her 4 young children.
We resume play here with about 4 minutes to go. Gabby Wilkie short on that jumper. Should note that number 32 for South Dakota, Ruthie Loomis Girdle, making her collegiate debut, number 32 in the post in red, as Kendall Coley keeps adding to the Nebraska record 3. Speaking of 32, Nebraska's number 32 doing all right for herself.
And I love to see it. I talked about Kendall Coley in the first half. She is a player who, again, stayed when she had an opportunity to take her last year someplace else, but she stayed. She's been a role player her entire career at Nebraska. Just does whatever is needed. Has played limited minutes, so it's nice to see her have a special part in this record-breaking performance.
Pass was tipped and stolen by Coral Mason for South Dakota. Addison close to Moore. A little off on that triple. Rebound from Moriarty. Nebraska, after tonight's ball game, will go home to face North Alabama, and then a big one next Friday, Shimmy, at Creighton in Omaha. I've
been a part of a few of those red and blue battles, and throw out the record, the rankings, all of that. Nothing else matters when Creighton and Nebraska play one another.
Knocked out of bounds back over to South Dakota. More connections. One of Creighton's assistant coaches, Mike Jewett, former assistant coach at South Dakota. In fact, he was the acting head coach during Kayla Karius' pregnancy for a short time last season.
Well, Connie Yori's on the Creighton coaching staff. Obviously, former Big Ten and Big 12 Coach of the Year and National Coach of the Year when she was at Nebraska several years ago. It is a state divided on that night.
That it is.
You're either blue or red, David.
It will certainly be packed in Omaha next Friday, as it is packed here this evening. Nice move by Olivia Kiefer on the baseline.
I'm actually very excited to see Ruthie Loomis Girdle.
Mentioned her a bit earlier. She's a transfer from Colorado, redshirted last season. A 4-star recruit as that pass goes sailing out of bounds. But a 4-star recruit, number 78 in ESPN's Top 100 a couple years ago. A nice pickup for Carrie Amy. We mentioned Nebraska's upcoming schedule, that Creighton game, Kansas City, another team out of the Summit League. Then that first Big Ten game coming early December against Minnesota. A couple former Coyote coaches in Amy Williams and Dawn Plitzowite going head-to-head.
And there was a time where Big Ten season didn't start until late December or right after New Year's, but now with all of these teams in the conference, you have to start conference play a few weeks earlier.
Sophie Hayden into the ballgame for USD, gets fouled. A little more than 2 minutes to go. Lead is 44 for Nebraska. Hayden able to hit the first. 6'1" senior, went to Minnetonka High School in the Twin Cities. transfer from George Washington, has battled some injuries, only 10 games each of the last 2 seasons. Goes 1 of 2 at the line. Bojan the board for Nebraska. Final 2 minutes here from the Sanford Pentagon as USD shows a zone look.
They started the game in a zone, and then Nebraska shot them right out of it. And now they're bringing it back out.
Shot clock down to 5. Coley. How about Kendall Coley?
The smile on Kendall Coley's face, it says it all. It says far more than I could ever say right now. I'm so happy for her.
She has a career high 15 points. Loomis Girdle gets fouled. So we have 3 different players with career highs for Nebraska, and Natalie Potts tied a career high with 22 points.
Kendall Coley came into this game averaging 5 minutes and 1 point. What a wonderful way to reward someone who has meant so much to this program.
First career point for Ruthie Loomis Girdle. Gets a nice hand from the Coyote bench and the throng of Coyote supporters. 1 of 2 at the line.
We asked Coach Amy about Ruthie, and she just talked about the learning curve. There is I don't care how many stars you have, there's no such thing as stars once you get to college. Rankings don't mean anything, and a lot of times freshmen, they have a learning curve, but you can see right there, that's a great rebound that she just went up and just snatched out of the air. You see that potential that she has. Another one of those great young players that South Dakota has to look forward to.
Got fouled on the rebound there. 6'3", so she certainly has the size to be able to be a good post in the Summit League in years to come. But as you said, when we talked to Coach Carrie Amy, the learning curve sometimes is steeper a little bit. People forget she didn't play at all last season, even though she was in the Colorado program.
And there is a big adjustment from high school to college. We talked earlier with Britt Prince and the pace that she plays with that so well. But I look at Ruthie and I see her physique, I see her size, and she definitely has a Division I body.
Final minute here from Sioux Falls.
I have to laugh right now because Kendall Coley just cut so hard through that zone, like she wants another one.
113-67. Top 5 scoring output in Nebraska history.
We put up a lot of points when I was coaching with Connie Yori at Nebraska, but we never put up 113, I'll tell you that right now.
Corner 3 is in from Coral Mason. Callan Hake will just dribble out the clock. Nebraska had 21 two-point field goals and a school record 20 three-point field goals. It's a final 113-70. Nebraska with a dominating win. They improve to 4-0, while South Dakota falls to 0-4.
Nebraska is worthy of the rankings that they're currently sitting at right now in the top 25. They were dominant from beginning to the very end. They are a complete ball club. You saw what they were able to do on the perimeter with the three-point shooting, their domination in the paint, but then look what they did on the glass, and their bench and their depth. Incredibly impressed with this Cornhusker team.
Inside, outside, it did not matter. Nebraska dominated both areas.
Amy Williams has got to feel good. It took her a while to come back here, but she picked a perfect night to showcase her Cornhusker team to the South Dakota faithful.
Nebraska 20 of 34, 59% from distance. 9 different players hit a three-point field goal for the Cornhuskers this evening. I know it's a non-conference game, and there's probably no way they can keep this type of torrid pace up, but if they can be consistent from the outside, look out rest of the Big Ten.
Well, it's just, if you've had the perimeter shooting that can complement the production that they already have in the paint, 42 points a game in the paint, and now if you can knock down 10, 11, 12 threes a game, You're going to go from top 25 to top 10 just like that, David.
3 different Cornhuskers nabbed career highs. Britt Prince with 23, Kendall Coley with 12, Kendall Moriarty with 13. Natalie Potts ties a career high with 22 points. Thanks to our entire production crew here in Sioux Falls, led by producer Matt Hoover and director Jason Clemens. You've been watching a production of Big Ten Plus. Thank you to everyone who joined us here in Sioux Falls. Alongside color analyst Shimmy Miller, I am David Brown. Nebraska 113, South Dakota 7.